A big welcome to you, my dear Pisces, and always a big welcome to those zodiac signs that felt like this constellation, which exists only once a year, has an inspiration for them as well. I always do the reading exactly on the day the moon is in your sign. That means when I look at the moon, I see you behind it, your constellation. And when I look at the sun, I see currently the constellation of Scorpio behind it. Scorpio is a fixed sign and you are a mutable sign because you are moving, right? You have that possibility to go into each constellation, into each sign, and look into it, right? Through dreams, through movies, through the creative spark that is in the feminine, that new birth, that new existence that is born or comes out of the water. Now, Scorpio, on the other hand, is fixed because death is inevitable. And here comes the white horse to you, which you are as well. You have also a white horse with the same position of the leg, very gently, right? Are you searching for the love? Are you searching for the Holy Grail? And so, nevertheless, this is not always gently because we see the different aspects of people, how they approach death. And we see the king, which is connected with Scorpios, the king of cups, and you're the knight of cups. He's dead on the floor, and all the other people, we can see how they embrace death, right? And so even the Hierophant or the high priest is actually welcoming death. So this is what's influencing us, and this is what's giving you now the message for this month. The yoga position that I did for Scorpio is, of course, Scorpio pose with the liberation by bringing the feet, which is your body part. Your body part are the feet. You bring the feet above your head, above your ego. And so this is the message here through Scorpio coming at you or highlighting your moon. And of course your position is always Pisces, the fish pose, and the dog and the wolf. And we have here up and downward facing dog. And you can see the evolution. You can see that there is something that wants to come out each time when the moon is actually looking at the subconscious. We can see how much more is there in our subconscious than in our conscious mind. The court card for you is the Knight of Cups. If your birthday is between February 8th and March 11th, then this is your court card if it comes up in the reading, right? So you are going gently into the direction from right to left, which is the 365-day cycle that the Earth does around the Sun, and then divided through the 12 zodiac signs, we get a month, and in that month you get your zodiac sign. And this is what you're getting today. The reading is a small reading of 12 major arcanas out of 22. And once a year on your full moon, which is always in your opposite sign, which is Virgo, you're getting a big reading, a soul reading, which is then placed from right to left, because that's the spin the Earth does, which lasts 25,800 years. It's a very slow spin, right? To the left. So that's why from right to left. It's a very magic way of looking that we evolve from within to the out, right? And the other cycle from right from left to right, is the outside to the in, what the soul learns on being here in a physical body and being here in this world is bringing to us, right? So that's what we're learning. And so just that you understand how this functions. Your last reading, when the sun was in Libra, the message was Aries full moon today will shift your consciousness. There was opposite of Libra is Aries, the full moon in Aries. And we see Libra, we see the evolving or the coming out, and we see Aries here, and we see here the Page of Wands. So something happened last full moon, and so let's have a look into this reading for your information. When we look at the big cycle that lasts 25,800 years, we divide that also through 12 zodiac signs, and so an age is born, right? And an age lasts 2,150 years. And we are currently in the age of Pisces. So that means behind the sun is the big age of Pisces, giving now the sun the energy, and the sun being now in Scorpio for 1 month is actually then giving you back the reflection. It's a very interesting combination happening here when I look at this, right? So it's almost like you are giving the sun the power now to understand that even the sun has to look deep within. The sun is the father, the sun is the ego, is the external, and the moon is the feminine, is the mother, is the internal. And so the internal is very much giving the sun the sign, hey, have a look, have a deeper look into everything. And so particularly also into what death means, particularly what that means to us as a species, to know that we die so that we can come back again and that we can change the way we have lived the previous lives, right? So we can learn and grow through all of that. Great, so let's begin. On the position of the Fool, which is a state of consciousness, and this state of consciousness is all about an idea, it's all about an being in the core, not knowing yet really what it is, but there is something that's wanting to come out of you, particularly now inspired by Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio, but behind it, always remember, is the age of Pisces, is your energy. And so you get the 10 of Wands, and you see how he's going into the direction of the big cycle, right? The idea is always from within to the out. It's almost like it's that this state of consciousness that says, where's this idea coming from? And so the idea right now is here talking to you through the 10 of Wands, which is Saturn in Sagittarius. Saturn is law and order, and Sagittarius is the temperance, is the liberation, is that balancing things out. And so there is a very intense energy now coming at you, right, through the Fool, through this idea, through this, what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go. And it feels quite intense. It feels like, okay, we're going right away from a 0 to a 10, right? So there's a 0, and now we have a 1 and a 0. So it's almost like you're beginning this month immediately with this, oh my God, there's so much to do. There's so much to handle. There's so much to look at. On the position of the Magician, which is the inspiration, which is the doer, which is the one that I have the magic up here and I bring it down here. I have all 4 tools on the table. I have the infinite symbol above my head, so I can do this and I can give away the number 23. And the giveaway is not give away possessions, money, anything that you think is of value. The giveaway is about giving away your energy, your love, is giving away in this direction, the direction of the soul, from the within to the out. Give away whatever it is you can give here to this energy, and through that become empowered, through that become the magician that creates an inspiration, that creates the next consciousness, right? And again, this is a state of consciousness within you. It's not actually yet a physical thing. It's now how I'm going to act on this idea that came through the Fool. And so now you are realizing, okay, when I don't know anymore what to do and I have so much to do, then give away your time, give away your love, give away your generosity in so many different ways. On the position of the High Priestess comes Temperance. And Temperance is Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is saying, of course, here, Saturn in Sagittarius, and now comes Sagittarius. And so this having to take care of a lot of things is now coming back to just 2 actions. And even though this is the number 14, it's becoming a 5-5 portal, calculating the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 4 together. A 5-5 portal is speaking to you. 5 is communication. How do you communicate? How do you speak? Have a creative way of communicating, of speaking about what's happening here, of how you feel here. And then give away and then start realizing, okay, you got to understand that the High Priestess is the intuition, is the wisdom that we all have within us, which is come between black and white. And these are black and white cards. And this is the understanding that you learning to come into your center, that you're learning to use your intuition, that you're learning to use higher consciousness, which is right here, the hexagram, the 2 triangles that are, one is pointing down and one is pointing up, and that are intersecting, and right in the center of the heart of here is now the answer. The answer is always in the heart. The answer is always in how much are you giving the love, right, back to the people. How much are you able to say, okay, instead of being overwhelmed here with this action, you give away. You just give away what doesn't work for you anymore. And then on the position of the Empress, which is growth, which is birth, which is fertility, comes the Tower. And here, these are French cards. It's called La Maison Dieu, the house of God, is making you wake up, is making you realize that the shift or the change is coming from a higher consciousness, is coming from the sun, is coming from an understanding that certain things need to shift and change now, that there is something that you need to awaken to, that you need to stop, right? Because this is a 10, and the 10 is usually a suppression. The 10 is usually someone pushing you, so then you give away whatever it is that you give away, so that then a peace can be restored, a peacefulness can be restored, and nevertheless it is imminent that something needs to shift. And this is a state of consciousness as well, because the tower has no zodiac sign connected with it. And we see again a triangle pointing up, which is the triangle of fire, of action. And the fire that is breaking the crown, which has 4 points, which is usually the word for God in the Hebrew language, which is Yahweh. And we see 2 people falling off the tower, and one has not a crown, which means he doesn't know this consciousness, and the other one who has a crown is falling and nothing is happening to him. So this is a card saying no matter what you lose, no matter what is happening in your life, if you know your soul, your higher consciousness, if you know the soul path, you will never die. You will not cling to this life, right? You will not be like the King of Cups lying on the floor. You will not be like this lady who is like looking away. You will be like him. You will embrace death. You will say, okay, I understand, it's time to go and to start a new life. And so this higher consciousness is protecting us, right? Because the crown is here and this looks like a crown. And so this tower moment is saying, okay, something is going to shift, something is going to change, because the 16 is becoming then the number 7, which is the crown chakra, which is that higher consciousness that is speaking to us all the time. And then comes you. You walk away from that and start seeing, okay, I understand now that I have to move forward, that I have to learn from what I see here behind me. These 4 cards, these 4 state of consciousness are here within you, and you keep going on your path of love, a path of truly looking only for the good in people, of truly seeing only the good things that come to you, so that then on the position of the Wheel of Fortune, which is actually not a state of consciousness, but which is something all of us have to realize, that everything is coming and going, that everything is spinning, that everything is up and down, right and left, inhale, exhale, constantly spinning and turning. And then comes here the number 41, the home in the sky. So you have a 555 portal right here, this 5, the giveaway. When you give away the love, then you understand here that you come into an equilibrium, into temperance, into your center, in your heart, which is then a creative expression. And the 3 times 5 is finding the power to express that. It's finding the power to see that up in the sky, these birds are flying in their houses. They don't need much. And that you are learning to fly as well, because you have wings here in your head, you have wings on your feet, and you are being inspired by this search of love. And so here you are going forward and knowing that something in the sky is supporting you, something is protecting you. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 birds. 7, right? And the 6, the 16. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 balloons. So you keep going and you search for whatever it is that you know you need to search, which is, of course, love. Right? Love is the only energy that really is not changing ever. Love is just love, and love will bring you up into the sky, and from the sky then through the Hanged Man, which is a state of consciousness that says, well, I have learned that the Wheel of Fortune is always shifting and changing, is always, when it's spinning, giving me a different letter of the Torah, right? And it has the letters of God, the 4 letters of God in it, which is then up here on this 4, the crown of 4. And so in this state of consciousness, we release, we bring ourselves upside down, we hang ourselves from the tree of life, and we start realizing that what is up comes down and what is down goes up again. And here comes the Lemurian crystal, the number 30, the 3 and the 0. And the Lemurian crystal is saying that you get a vision and that you have to think in bigger terms to accept the secret of infinite possibilities. And it's very interesting because that you become a co-creator now through the way that you say, okay, I let go, I really let go, I accept what comes, I accept what the universe wants to bring me, but within it I have then the key here, and I have another key here, and I have another key here, but there's one more key here, the 4th key. And the 4th key is almost here, the throat, and the 555, 3 times 5 portal is saying, okay, have and find the power to co-create. Speak your words with love and kindness. Speak how you have realized this message now, and speak and find the key to speak gently and lovingly, because that's what communication is, that's what the 5th chakra is. And then on the position of Scorpio comes another 5, but the 5 of Swords, which is a very intensive 5. The 5 of Swords is like intense because we learn that our mind has the power to destroy things with swords. All the swords are broken. And we have here the unicorn being almost like decaying. And this 5 is then the 4th 5. And 4 is the heart. And 4 is also here the crown. And so here's also a crown. But here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So learn to realize that this material world, which also is the pentagram, right? The pentagram on the material world, the 5 senses. You gotta learn to realize that everything here is leaving, and that if you have a bigger vision of you knowing that you have 3 keys, you have the understanding of the number 3, which is then here on the position of the tower, right? The consciousness that is giving you a new growth cycle so that you can grow further, because something is stuck and something needs to be liberated, and that liberation is then through the 3 keys. But the 4th key now is saying, okay, you gotta, in this dimension of the 4, the material dimension, learn that things have to leave and things have to go, and that, yes, this unicorn is dying. And that this is Venus in Aquarius. And so there is something beautiful behind it in a way, because Venus is love, Venus is the feminine, is helping you to transition, is helping you to learn, is helping you to understand that this death, and we see that the unicorn is dead, this death is necessary. There is something that needs to leave, there is something that needs to go, and you got to learn that. And so the new vision can come to you, like the phoenix is rising out of its ashes, out of death, a new life can come out. And so you have to learn that, you have to understand that, you have to awaken to that. And then on the position of the tower itself comes the frog. Then healing can happen, because rain and water is healing, that's coming down. And we see here these points here continue here down. Here they're light and now they're getting dark. It's almost there's like a really important message coming down through the tower. The tower that is saying here, yes, something needs to go, something needs to leave. And so you have to realize that the frog is here to heal. The frog is here to let you know that learn to become, that the frog is saying clearing, cleansing, healing. You need to clear and cleanse yourself. You need to clear the energy and find the enthusiasm for life again. And that's why the frog is coming on the position of the tower. The tower is liberating you, and through that liberation of letting go, truly deeply letting go, and knowing that you have the crown. And as you can see, he is actually, interesting enough, his head is down, so the crown should fall. And his head is up, so the crown shouldn't fall. But he who has the crown, who understands this crown, understands that higher consciousness can never be killed. That higher consciousness can never be destroyed. And so now you going into a healing phase, you're going to go and realize that, and you're going to go and let go of that 5. Because now on the position of your card, the moon, comes again a 7, the 43, the overflow, the overwhelm, and the plenty. Then when you let go of wanting to rule certain things, right? Wanting to control things, but you are actually embracing it, and then the healing can happen, a deep healing, an emotional healing. Then it will overflow again. Then things will come to you again. Then this situation here, the tower that is speaking to you, is saying, okay, the overflow will come, you will have plenty, and here again is a 7. Then the 7-7 portal is speaking to you on your position, right? The moon. You will understand that there is always plenty. There is always enough. And of course, on the position of the sun comes then the east. And out of the east comes the rising sun. Out of the east comes the yogic tradition, comes Buddhism, comes an awareness that says it's within you, the light is within you. And that then becomes the 3-3 portal. And the 3-3 portal is bringing you the vision from within, is bringing you a vision that says you realize within yourself that there is something magnificent speaking to you, because you're the age, you're in the sun. For 2,150 years, you've been in the sun. And so we have been discovering in the subconscious that there are things deep within us. We are learning that we have the power from within to awaken and to shine and to become the vision yourself, to become the overflow and the overwhelm and the plenty yourself. Wow, right? Because the moon, this is you, which is behind the sun. You're gonna show us the way. You're gonna show us the path. And then on the position of the awakening, the wake up, the renewal, comes then here this card. Then you're looking into it and you're like, okay, yes, I know the soul path goes this direction, from within to the out. And now I go the 365 days and I am doing it. This card is saying resistance. Understanding why you resist what you have to do is a crucial part of the creative process. The number 65, which then becomes an 11. And so the resistance is that you need to learn that here, this direction is the big soul from within path, but live it also in this direction. And so don't resist, right? Don't look here and be pulled into this portal, which is almost like the portal is now above you and is guiding you, and you don't have to fear anything. Which is also this white animal that is leading you the way and saying, follow the signs in the 365-day cycle. Don't worry, everything will be okay, because this is the awakening. The awakening needs to come back down here into this life. And then comes the 9 of Swords on the position of the world. Then the nightmares and the difficulties that are here now through the 5 and the 9, which is calculated together a 14, which is then coming back to this 14 to Sagittarius. So there's a Sagittarius energy that is saying, yes, this energy can also create difficulties because it's a fire sign, and he is the knight of fire, so it's fire and fire. So there is something that is disturbing you because you have now 14 swords, which makes another 5, and that is then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fives. 5 times 5 is having the power to speak about what it is that is blocking you, what is it that this world doesn't understand. And this dark night of the soul in the dreams, the moon is waking over our dreams. The plenty and the overflow is speaking here in the dreams. And so she is lying here and she's sleeping. She doesn't understand that there is a very difficult situation coming to her, coming to the world in general. The world right now is all over the place, and the most important thing now is that we stay grounded, that we stay not in resistance, but that we stay in a portal of 11, which is 1, 1. 2 times 1 is understand that you have the right to be resisting certain things, and that resistance isn't always a negative or a positive thing. It can be something that you deeply feel within, and that's a crucial part of your creative process to grow. And here, through the dark night of the soul, which is Mars in Gemini, and Mars is the tower that fell here. Mars is the tower, and Gemini is learning to love yourself no matter what happened to you, learning to truly love yourself and hold on to that one energy that you know is the right energy, which is the higher consciousness, which is the triangle, which is the 3 keys that you know to this vision. Have that vision, hold on to that vision, and don't give it up, because that vision is above your head and is guiding you and is leading you and is helping you even in your dreams to manifest it and to then bring it here in this world. Wow, what a beautiful message. Sometimes it's so interesting how I can really go into how these cards speak to each other. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because then the Earth is spinning in such a way that we see behind the Sun the constellation Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is speaking to you. Sagittarius is already also then through the 14 swords, right? A 1414 portal coming to you here, that learn to understand these swords, learn to understand what more wants to speak to you also through the mind, and not just here through action, right? The 10 of wands, which is then also, when we look at this as a continuum, then you understand here from the 9 of swords that the 10 of wands is just a new step. It's a new cycle that you have to learn to become truly powerful, to not let yourself be pushed by no one, right? Become powerful, become awakened, become enlightened, right? See the light always within, right? Understand that this is always a state of consciousness that you're learning now. That overflow is a state of consciousness from within. So I hope I see you in the next reading. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.